Hello everybody, welcome back to some more State of Decay 2. This is a special video. I decided to do a quick video to kind of go over some of the highlights for the new Choose Your Own Apocalypse update. That's coming on the 26th of March. I am so looking forward to it. Some of the highlights are basically, pretty much everybody knows about this, but I just kind of want to give my thoughts on it. I first off want to say this is a desperately needed update. I was one of the ones that said the standard zone as it's being called now, was just a little bit too easy. And when it's too easy, it gets to be a little bit repetitive. Now, having said that, they have, I don't know if too many people know this, because a lot of people quit playing it. But they have made the difficulty a little harder on Standard Zone by increasing zombie hordes as the days go by. As you will see in this video that you're watching is just something I quickly played. It's my oldest group. I forget their name. I think they went like 56 days or something. They were this character will come across an all blood plague zombie horde, and the zombies are pretty aggressive, more aggressive than they used to be when it first came out, but I still found it a little bit too easy. Now, what I love about this patch is it's not, jumping from ice cold water into boiling hot water. They're not going to sit there and throw us right in Nightmare. Dread Zone, I think, is probably going to be a lot of people's favorites, and maybe even mine. Nightmare Zone is going to be kind of, I think, a challenge. And that's where this group that you're watching right now is going to start. My first video is going to start using them. And that's because I want to see if the best group I got, and this is the best group I got, they got the best weapons. With the exception, they only have one crossbow, and that's one that I get during this video because I haven't played this since the crossbow update. I have not played this group. I've been pretty much concentrating on my current group, the Wanderers, and doing, videos for YouTube with them. And I've pretty much ignored these guys. And these guys, they've lasted 56 days, but it's actually more like 90 because they were stuck on a glitch for the longest time playing it where the days weren't going by. They were, they weren't, you go day, night, day, night, day, night, but it would not add a day every time you do a day-night cycle. But then it got patched and now it works. But anyway, let me go over my notes first, because I watched the Undead Labs stream, and I took notes as I was watching it. But anyway, the biggest thing I think that's going to be huge is the Blood Plague Jugs do serious plague damage. I mean, I thought they had to grab you, but I don't think that's the case. I think they just have to run into you. And it's like 2 or 3 hits, and you can be full blood plague infected, and then your countdown timer starts. And on Nightmare, one grab, I think, one grab from the jug, and you're dead. And probably just a couple of hits from a normal plague zombie, and you're most likely going to die. I'm going to be really interested to see how that plays out. I really am, because that's going to determine just how nightmarish this is. Because if you get hit with a plague, getting fully infected with plague, well, first off, you're going to have plague cures on you, or at least in the vehicle, and you're going to have to take them immediately. The plague infection on the Dread Zone is 30 minutes after you're infected. It starts counting down before you turn. 10 minutes. 30 minutes. I say 30 seconds. 30 minutes for Dread Zone. 10 minutes if you're in a Nightmare Zone, which means you better have some plague cures. Louder guns and the memory of zombies have been increased, which means when you trigger a zombie, you know, when you alert zombies, they are going to know where you're at for longer, which could mean it could lure in more zombies. They don't forget where you're at as quick. They didn't say by how much they increased it, but that could be huge, especially for fast searchers like me that make loud noises all the time. I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out, because that could be the difference between, you know, fast searching and not fast searching, and whether or not you're going to make a ninja or make somebody, you know, whatever. I mean, it's going to make a huge difference in choices, because if the thing that everybody, that I say, not everybody, a lot of people said is fast searching really has no consequences in this standard zone. It really doesn't. I mean, even if you do attract attention, you just leave the area and come back. But if you attract enough attention, it might be hard to leave the area. I'm curious to see how this works. I really am. I'm so stoked for this patch, I gotta tell you. Okay. Existing communities can be used. Like I said, I'm going to be using this group to start the Nightmare Zone. But it will reset the map, including anything that you've made. Yeah, and you know, anything you built in your base. And also, the legacy boons will be reset. If you can only use legacy boons that you've acquired in a certain zone. For instance, mine right now are standard zone, which definitely means they weren't not going to work in a dread zone. They won't work in a nightmare zone. However, if I got all 4 legacy boons in nightmare zone, it would work across all 3. That's going to be interesting, because I think it's going to be really hard to do the legacy missions on nightmare. But definitely going to try it. Less cars and resources.
Nice. Fish.
Probably the less resources is probably my least favorite of the patch, but you have to do it. Because you have to make it to where you have to search more to get resources. Because if you don't, then there's really no reason to go out and search. If you've already got a whole home base full of resources, then you're probably more going to just kind of dilly-dally around than you would, you know, going out and searching. Because you wouldn't have to. One thing I did hear, I think I heard it right, is Plague Hearts now have a big payoff. Now, I don't know what they meant, but something good. You will get more than plague samples out of a killed Plague Heart. I didn't really pick up what they meant, but it's something that they say is going to make you want to kill the Plague Hearts, because a lot of people just dodge them because there really was no purpose to killing them other than to get the plague zombies off the map or reduce them. But me being one of them, it's like, yeah, I'll do a Plague Heart because it's being a nuisance more than anything. Okay. All freak hordes, which means it can be all pharaohs, all juggernauts, all screamers. It can be all army. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be really interesting, because I can imagine an all feral horde coming through, especially if there's like 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. That's going to be get in your vehicle and get the hell out of there situation, no doubt. Fewer vehicles, don't mention that, but also the vehicles will have less fuel and be more damaged, which is huge, because you don't ever, I think you might know how much fuel it has, but you don't always know what condition the vehicle is in when you spot it on the map. So you get there, you find out it's, you know, a step and a half away from blowing up, and so you have to get home in one piece and then maybe repaired, or bring a repair kit with you, whatever. But I have a feeling repair kits are going to become more expensive to make too, because they did say they're up in the resource necessity to build things and to make things. So we'll see how that works out. Ability to choose maps in a new game is, oh yeah, the ability to choose maps in a new game. Now this is something nothing to do with the new zombie apocalypse. Choose your own zombie apocalypse. This is something that is just awesome. I mean, when you start a new game and you skip the tutorial, you can now choose what map you want to start out on. That was probably one of their most requested patches, because people would spend, you know, 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour picking the perfect 3 people and then start on a map that they cannot stand. And the problem is I kept saying screw it and go back and build, you know, find my 3 people again and end up on the same map. You know, it just got aggravating. But they fixed that. Now you can choose the map. That is fantastic. All right, now that's off my notes. That's what I heard while watching their stream. Now let me
I could have been louder.
I took screenshots of both the Dread Zone and the Nightmare Zone so that I could go over them side by side. All right. Looks to me like the Dread Zone, pretty much they both say the same thing, with the exception of the last one. Obviously the Dread Zone is the Nightmare Zone is based off of the Dread Zone, so they tweaked the Dread Zone to make the Nightmare Zone. So let me read the Dread Zone one first, which is basically recommended for players familiar with State of Decay 2. Zombies deal more damage with their attacks, which is needed. Increased population of zombies and freaks. That's going to be great. I can't wait to see that. Hordes are larger and deadlier. Resources, weapons, vehicles are scarcer. Blood Plague is more aggressive. I don't know what they mean by Blood Plague is more aggressive, or is it Blood Plague zombies are more aggressive. I think they're meaning that the Blood Plague zombies will give you faster Blood Plague. That'd be what I'm thinking they're talking about. In other words, when they hit you, they inflict Blood Plague damage more than they used to. Hostile enclaves are more dangerous.
So that's our exit queue, right?
That's going to be interesting. Now, the Nightmare Zone is basically recommended for expert players of State of Decay 2. Changes include everything described for Dread Zone, plus freaks gathering groups. Okay, that's something that's new. Which is going to mean multiple, you know, groups of ferals, groups of juggernauts, screamers, bloaters. That's going to be, oh my god, that's going to be, I love it. Resources, weapons, vehicles are even much more scarcer. Plague hearts are more abundant. Now that, I'm curious, does that mean there's going to be more than 10 plague hearts on a map at one time? Or does that mean that plague hearts might pop up as you destroy them? Maybe they might pop up more. I don't know. I know you have to clear the plague hearts to be able to trigger the legacy missions. So it can't be something that the plague hearts constantly pop up as you destroy them.
No Zeds incoming.
Now we'll see.
Okay.
Hostile humans can headshot you. Now they were asked, does that mean they're going to one-shot you? And they said no, that's not the case. But it probably definitely means they're going to do a lot of damage to you if they headshot you. So if you couple 2-3 headshots, and you're probably either down or dead.
Is anyone listening? I could use a little help here.
Anyway, my opinion is I can't wait. I cannot wait for this. I put myself in. I'm not going to say expert. I'm not even going to... Veteran... I mean, I've done a lot. I've played State of Decay 2 a lot. And I'm really good at the standard zone.
Damn it.
But I am not even going to say that I'm an expert enough to be able to survive Nightmare Zone. I can't wait. I hope it is so brutal that I die a lot. Because then it's going to require me to adjust and adapt to the difficulty. And that's going to be a challenge in itself. I can't wait. I think that people who are good at this game are going to love this patch. And I think the most popular one is going to be Dread Zone. I really do. I think that's going to be the most popular one. I'm going to start off with Nightmare. But I will do Dread. I will probably do a brand spanking new group with Dread. We'll see. We'll see. But I've been asked, am I going to, play pick up State of Decay 2 again when this patch comes out? Well, absolutely. I'm not going to say it's going to be daily releases like I used to do. And the reason being is I don't want to get burned out on this game. I tend to get burned out. I mean, as people see, I haven't played 7 Days to Die in a long time. I just got plain burned out with it. I played it like crazy, and then you get to the point where you don't even want to fire it up. I don't want to get that way with this game. I do like this game. I enjoyed playing this game. I want to keep it that way. And also, one thing that concerns me is I have an issue, and people who watch my videos know I refer to this all the time, is the melee swinging. Where it just suddenly stops working. That bothers me. Because if they don't fix that, I could very well die like crazy. Just because I lose the ability to swing my melee weapon. That worries me, so... But, I don't know. Oh, and anybody who has experienced the same problem. The inability to swing your melee weapon, and at the same time you can't jump. It seems to affect the keyboard and mousers. If you have this problem, please turn in a ticket to Undead Labs stating the problem. Because I know, as most developers, game developers do, they prioritize patches by how much complaints they get. And if I'm the only one complaining, they're going to think it's an isolated event with me and not realize there's a lot of people suffer from it. So I'm going to put a link to their support. It's you don't need Twitter or nothing. It's a website, and then you can turn in a support ticket and let them know you're having the same problem. But that is it. I hope everybody else is excited for this patch as much as I am. I am counting down the days because I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be one of them situations where it might get frustrating on Nightmare, but the ones who've been complaining it's been too easy, like me, are about to get our mouths shut, I hope. And at any rate, it's going to be harder, and thus I think it's going to be funner. I mean, even if it turns out that it's totally survivable, even Nightmare mode, if you play a certain way, at least they've made an attempt to pacify the people like me who've said the original difficulty was too easy. But it was too easy. It's not necessarily too easy now. I actually like how well they balanced the original difficulty. But that is it. I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you all when this patch releases. I'm not going to play it again until the patch releases, but I will assure you when I play it for the first time, I will be recording it. You're going to be seeing genuine reactions to it. But that is it. I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all when the patch releases.